I thoroughly enjoy being with young people. You know, I do a lot of that in Wipro. I do it very frequently in Wipro. I do it in large groups. I do it in small groups. I do it in very small groups. I do it within the country, and I do it outside the country. The first thing which I've learned in life is that you must begin life and you must approach life with your strengths. It's absolutely essential. Everyone in schooling very often keeps on pushing one to focus on what is wrong with us, or tells us what is wrong with us. And there is a very interesting imaginary story of a rabbit, and you must hear this one. The rabbit was enrolled in a rabbit school, and like all rabbits, it could hop very well but could not swim. At the end of the year, the rabbit got high marks in hopping but failed in swimming. The parents were concerned, the relations were concerned, the friends were concerned, the elder friends particularly. They said, forget about hopping, you are anyway good at it. You don't have to keep practicing it. Concentrate on your swimming. Then they sent the rabbit for tuitions and coaching in swimming. And guess what happened? The rabbit forgot how to hop. As for swimming, have you ever seen a rabbit swim? While it is important for us to know what we are not good at, we must cherish what is good in us. It's very fundamental to life. That is because it is only on our strengths that can give us the energy to correct our weaknesses. The second lesson I have learned is that a rupee earned is far more valuable and far more merited than 5 found. My friend was sharing with me a story of his 8-year-old niece. She would always complain about the quality of the breakfast and about the quality of the food she would get in the house. She came from a family where there was a cook, and they tried just about everything to please her. Finally, my friend took the child to a supermarket and bought her one of these ready-to-cook breakfasts. The child had to cut the packet and pour water in the dish. After that, it took 2 minutes in the microwave to be ready. The child found the food to be absolutely delicious. The difference was that she had cooked it with her own hands. She had put work and effort into it. I have found that nothing gives as much satisfaction as earning our rewards. A rupee earned is much more valuable than 5 rupees found. The third lesson which I have learned is that no one bats 100 runs every time. Life has many challenges and many failures. You win some challenges and you lose some. You must enjoy winning, but do not let it to go to your head. And when you have failures, it is very important that you learn the lesson. The fourth lesson I have learned is the importance of humility. Sometimes, when you get so much in your life, you start wondering whether you deserve it at all, or whether you deserve all of it. This brings me to the value of gratitude. We have so much to be grateful for. Our parents, our teachers, our seniors, our friends have so much that they have done for us for which we can never repay them. Many people focus on the shortcomings because obviously no one can be perfect. It is important to first acknowledge what we have received. Nothing in life is permanent, but when a relationship ends, rather than becoming bitter and worrying about it and brooding about it, we must learn to savor the memory of the good things as they had lasted when they lasted. In my youth, I thought of myself as a rebel and was many times a rebel without a cause. Today I realize that my rebellion was another kind of conformity. We defied our leaders to respond instead of reacting. When we respond, we evaluate with a calm mind and do whatever is appropriate. We are in control of our actions. When we react, we are doing what the other person wants us to do. I wish you all the best in your career. I hope you achieve the success which you are setting for yourself, but have the right goals, have the right character behind them, and keep persevering and persevering. I would be very happy to take questions.
Whenever you talk about ethics and integrity in the Indian context, the two companies that come to mind, one is the Tata Sons and the other is Wipro. What is so special about these two companies that it has been imbibed in these organizations? How is it done?
It's very simple. It's done by practice. There's no other way you imbibe things in an organization. It is practice. Integrity is practice. Leadership is practice. Innovation is practice. It's all practice. You've got to figure out what you want your company to be and what you consider as non-compromisable, not negotiable. And just set those out and keep them as simple as possible and keep them as few as possible and practice them. And practice them every day, every hour, every minute, and have zero exception to them.
Can you give us an instance of something where you've not been budged or you refused to negotiate?
Oh, there are many instances. When we were very small and we were headquartered in Bombay, we have a policy which is quite simple. The policy is that when an employee breaches integrity, we fire the employee. We don't give him a second chance. We had a situation where an employee traveled second class from Madras to, at that time it was Madras, now it's Chennai, to Bombay, now it's Mumbai. And we learned through an investigation that he had claimed a first-class fare. We fired him. He was the union leader of our corporate office. The employees went on strike for 6 months, but we ran the company. We didn't take him back. That's one example.
So there was competition and then came co-opetition. So maybe them citations to Union Bank case. So where Wipro provided the hardware services and Infosys came in with the software services. Right? So now I'll put this question in lines of Leo Tolstoy. There was war and then came in peace. So where does co-opetition stand? Is it a stage between war and peace or is it a measure of peace?
You've got a very sophisticated question. Try to paraphrase it for me. Make it a little simple for me. I'm not too bright on things like that.
So simply putting it down, Infosys and Wipro are competitors, right? So you came into co-opetition where you both came together and gave a solution for the simple reason to get a largest share of a pie. So we keep it this way. Now co-opetition, there's a war between competitors and obviously war is followed by peace, Leo Tolstoy as he says it. So I would just ask you this thing, where does co-opetition stand? So is it peace? Or if you want to continue this question, I'll tell you co-opetition. Simply speaking.
I hope you're not going to become a professor. I was studying in an American university and I had the privilege of being taught by 2 Nobel Prize winners, and they were the most terrible of all the teachers. They were too brilliant and too bright to be able to come down to the level of a freshman student. I'm not trying to be rude on this issue, but I'm trying to say, be more simple. I think, let me take the instance of Infosys. We are good friends in many parts of the organization. We share information to the extent we can share information given the laws in terms of sharing of information. We work with them very closely in the India market in terms of being their co-partner in offering solutions to banks on the core platforms of financial solutions, because they have a package which is a very good package and they've invested in building the package, and we decided as a priority not to invest in building that particular package. So we work in cooperation with them and we have a joint solution to the customer, and sometimes they take the lead role and sometimes we take the lead role. Thank you very much.
I, on behalf of all present here, would like to thank you, Mr. Premji, and I'd like to request our President, Mr. R. Gopalakrishnan, to please come up on stage and do us the honors of giving him a memento.